Today we have another guest in the house. He's an experienced guest who retired as a permanent secretary, and the person is Engineer Bamidele Christopher Ogunwolere FNSE M.N.I. He was the past chairman of Nigerian Society of Engineers Akure branch. Sir, can you introduce yourself and share a summary of your career journey so far?
Thank you very much. My name is Ogunwolere Bamidele Christopher. Born almost 7 decades ago in the small town of Okitipupa in Okitipupa. Okay. Attended some primary schools, about 4. You know the nature of our parents then,
Yes.
moving from one place to another. Attended 2 secondary schools, finished at Mayflower Secondary School,
Okay, Traditional School.
Traditional School, in the year 1975. Attended Federal Government College of Ondo for my high school, and proceeded to Higher Institute of Civil Engineering and Architecture, Sofia, Bulgaria, where I was awarded a degree of Masters in Civil Engineering, Structures bias.
Okay. Structures.
Yes. I started my working career after my NYC in 1984 as a teacher.
Where did you serve, sir? Let me ask.
I served in the city, and with a private organization, a private company, where we had works or some jobs in the Ekuru, that is the refinery at Ekuru. Then I started my working career as a teacher, Methodist High School, Okitipupa. Stayed to about 2.5 years here. Became a vice principal before I left. As an engineer, I thought I was rotting away. So
you're already very into teaching.
I decided to throw in the towel at a time. As luck had it, I got employment into water corporation, Ondo State Water Corporation, in the year 1987, April 1987. And when the opportunity for greener pastures came, I moved to the local government as one of the pioneering engineers in the local government.
The then Ondo State and Okitipupa.
Yes, the then Ondo State, when it was Old Ondo State.
Old Ondo State.
Yes, the then Ondo State. And my first point of duty post was at Ekiti South local government. The headquarters was at Akure, comprising the now Akure local government, its own local government, and Emure local government. After my career in the local government, I was appointed as the Pioneer General Manager, Ondo State Waste Management Authority, where I served until I was appointed a permanent secretary in the mainstream civil service of Ondo State. My career spanned from 1984 to 2019, when I retired in January 2019. Before my retirement, I took a course in theology, and I got into the ministry as a priest in 2017. And since my retirement, so I've been a priest and I'm still a priest. Now, in between along the line, I attended the prestigious National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru. And it's after that completion of that course that I was awarded the title M.N.I.
That's a good one, sir. Thank you for that insight and information. So, what inspired you to choose civil engineering, especially structure?
Well, what inspired me to choose civil engineering? I think when I was in Form 4, I was good in the sciences. And at that material time, an ex-student of M.N.I was one of our teachers, particularly in mathematics and physics. He graduated from the Michigan Institute of Technology.
Okay, MIT.
Yes, MIT, United States of America. So he studied mechanical engineering, and he also introduced us to so many aspects of engineering. And my interest then was aeronautical engineering. Okay. Like it's, as at that time, it was so limited where you can study. Yes. And being from a very poor family background, it became so difficult for me to really aspire to become an aeronautical engineer. However, what was available to me, and which was my next option, was civil engineering. And why I chose structures is because it is more related to aeronautical. Okay. Why that's why my bias is in structures. Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Then can you tell us about a memorable project or achievement that shaped your career? Because of
my career, almost everything I've been shaping my upward ascension. But we are talking about engineering.
Yes, sir.
So let's take one or two projects. When I was in Water Corporation, that was in 1987, early 1987. There were some expatriates that were working with Ondo State. A project called Owena Augmentation Project was ongoing as at that time. The expatriates that were handling the project had to return to their countries. And the mantle fell on me to handle that project. That is the Owena Augmentation Project. It is an expansion of the existing projects. That is the Owena Dam. Okay. Not necessarily, not only the dam, but also the headworks. Okay. And the job here included the low lift pump, the high lift pump, the sedimentation, the clarifier, the chemical
chlorination.
Yes, chlorination and all the other requirements to ensure that the water is potable. And then the transmission, not the distribution, the transmission from the headworks to the overhead tank at opposite Water Corporation in Akure.
From that distance?
Yes. Yes, from that distance, but there is a booster at Olokuta.
Okay.
So you first pump to the booster at Olokuta, then from there you now boost it to NEPA. It was a challenging project, and it was my first time in contact with engineering projects. Wanted to learn a lot and to ensure that the project was realized, much more so that the expatriates that were our needs had left. To God be the glory, we were able to achieve the project and commission it when due. But there were a few challenges. A particular one that we will talk about is there was a part that we need to use, which was not available in Nigeria. And to import it will take us between 9 months and a year to get it.
And the downtime too.
Yes, so that means the completion date will have to be extended. However, I took up the courage to find out from my technologists and technicians, if we can do something about it locally. So we had to fabricate that part locally to ensure that the project was completed to time.
Thank you, sir.
The other one, which we can talk about, is that of the Waste Management Authority.
Okay.
In my introduction, I said I was the Pioneer General Manager.
Yes, you said that.
Managing waste is not an easy task. You have the problem of mapping the community or the entire town, enumeration, planning your routes for the vehicles, the downtown time,
Yes.
then the final place of the refuse. What we practice mostly in Nigeria is just collection and dumping.
Yes, that's one.
You collect from one place and you dump it in another place. But we had to improvise what is called a landfill. To construct a landfill involves a lot of money and a lot of technical know-how.
And a lot of environmental impact.
Yes. But at that level, at the stage we were then, it was very hard for the state government to embark on construction of the landfill. But having acquired the land, we improvised a landfill. Not necessarily, not burning. A landfill where you can take the waste to and bury. But even at the landfill, we also have to apply what is called integrated waste management. This integrated waste management involves turning waste to
wealth.
To wealth, yes.
That's ingenious.
And it also includes what is called the 3 R's. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. As much as it is, we tried to reduce, to reuse, we also started what is called the recycling of waste in Ondo State to serve as a pilot scheme for will-be investors or organizations that want to take part.
Which areas was the...
Yes, we had...
cited?
It's within the landfill at Ibatoro Road.
Okay, the one at Ibatoro.
The one at Ibatoro Road. Okay. There we have what we call the plastic nylon recycling plant, okay, where we turn all plastics and nylon into pellets.
Okay, by grinding them?
Yes, you grind them, you extrude them, and cut them into pellets for industry use. Also, we have...
That will reduce importation.
Well, it's supposed to reduce the
extent,
and it's supposed to reduce the cost of the materials for the industry.
Yeah.
We also constructed and installed a metal recycling plant where unused metals, scraps, are melted and turned into ingots, or to produce some other byproducts. So also we have the turning of the waste to fertilizer. So those are the three components.
Yes, okay.
Yes, all this we were able to do as at that time, and it was at that particular time that Ondo State was adjudged one of the cleanest, the second cleanest city
in Nigeria.
I
think that was when General Obasanjo.
Yes, that was when General. Okay, the recycling plant, the landfill and the recycling plants were what General Obasanjo came to commission in the year 2000 and can I remember it now? I think it's 2000.
I think it was
2002. Yes, 2002. It was in 2002. So, or is it 2002 or 2003? I can't recall.
It's between 2 and 3.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
I remember this.
Obasanjo came to commission that plant for that landfill. Yes.
Okay, sir. Then how do you, what skills or attributes are necessary for success in the field of civil engineering?
Well,
because you have gone into waste engineering now.
Yes. As both civil engineering, waste management, which also has its engineering component.
Yes.
One thing, first, the main thing you need to must be very, very highly industrious person. You must be ready to learn. You know, it's one thing to pass through the 4 walls of the university. It's another thing for you to allow the university to pass through you. And after coming out of the university, to apply the knowledge you have acquired. Upgrading yourself every now and then, trying to know new technologies that abounds around you. Training and retraining yourself, not necessarily until your employer or government trains you. You must be involved in training yourself. Reading hard.
Yes.
Working hard.
I mean, hard, working smart.
Yes, you need to work smart also.
Okay.
That reminds me of when you talk of working smart. Well, I said, I just mentioned the university I attended as to become an engineer.
Yes.
I also attended a course in business administration, and I majored in strategic management. So, with that, you'll be able to put a lot of things together. You will be able to troubleshoot. Now, a lot of us, what we have learned is what we just stay upon. stay on it until you retire. When you don't do research, you don't look around what is happening around you and how can you solve problems. It might become a bit difficult.
Because basically engineering is problem solving.
Yes, engineering is problem solving. So you must be able to troubleshoot. In your troubleshooting, you come with different simulations.
Yes.
And you come with a lot of options. And you need to pick the best option that will serve your purpose. And when we're talking about this also, you cannot rely on yourself alone. You must be able to also consult other colleagues, particularly senior ones.
No man is an island.
No man is an island on its own. Then aside from that, if you are a team leader, you must have what is called teamwork. Managing human resources around you, aside the other financial resources to make your projects economically viable. So, management of human resources, teamwork,
yes,
consulting others, studying above what you know, getting to know more information, applying available modern technology, and then hard work was really true.
Thank you, sir. Sir, earlier in your introduction,
yes,
you mentioned that you retired as a permanent secretary.
Yes.
Can you please enumerate for viewers at home the ministries you worked in and what was your impact there?
Yes, I became permanent secretary in October 2006. And my first point of call was the special duties. Special duties that time had Water Corporation under it, Electricity Board under it, Housing, and I think environment were combined under it also.
Okay.
Then, maybe those are the main ones that were there. As an engineer, you know, that will help me.
Yes.
I'm already within my own community or constituent. That is Water Corporation. I had worked in Water Corporation before then. So I know almost all the water schemes in Ondo State. And I know people, the officers, people working in Water Corporation. Electricity Board, they are my colleagues. And I know a lot of them there. And the fact that I'm an engineer, though not an electrical engineer, but at least I will have basic knowledge.
Yes, definitely.
In electrical engineering.
Definitely.
Housing shouldn't have been any problem to any engineer. So it was like a familiar challenge. So I had no problem when I was special duties. But I think at the second coming of Governor His Excellency, late Olusegun Obasanjo, he decided to break special duties into two. Special duties still remain, but he now created public utilities from special duties. And public utilities now was in charge of Still Water Corporation, Electricity Board, Watson,
now
Watson, and Environment. There was no Ministry of Environment there.
Yes.
Environment was a component of special public utilities. Again, a familiar term. So from there, I was moved to be the pioneer permanent secretary. at the newly created Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Okay. That is inside Ministry of Works.
Inside Ministry of Works. From there, I think I was, yes, I proceeded to Kuru. Just
okay, for your course.
Yes, for my course in policy, strategy, policy formulation and strategies. And when I came back, I was assigned to the newly created Ministry of Adult Technical and Vocational Education.
Okay.
Though I was not the pioneer permanent secretary, but I became the second permanent secretary because the pioneer secretary, the permanent secretary, retired after about 3 months.
Okay.
So more or less, it's like being a pioneer there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for an engineer, I think technical and vocational education shouldn't have been any problem.
Yes.
All we needed to do was just to ensure that we're able to impact the ministry.
And with your knowledge of policy?
Yes,
Formulation.
yes, with my knowledge of policy formulation. In fact, we did a work for the government of the day then. That is Chef Olusegun, Dr. Olusegun. It's a compendium on how to improve technical and vocational education in Ondo State. So, after my service at the Ministry of Adult Technical and Vocational Education, I was posted to Ministry of Housing and Urban Development.
Okay.
Not physical planning and urban development, but housing and urban development. Well, it's like it's named from physical planning to housing.
Okay.
Housing aspect now was added, but it's also not entirely a new grant for me. So from there, I was posted to Ministry of Community and Rural Development. And the last ministry I served was Ministry of Integration and Regional Planning. The pioneer PS in the Ministry of
always pioneer.
most of my the duty posts were pioneering.
And the assistant, thank God for that.
Almost all of them aside the Ministry of Adult Technical and Vocational Education, which has now been converted back to a board, are all still standing. They are still standing.
Thank you for that journey.
Thank you.
Then, are there any misconceptions in your field and that you would like to clear up for us?
Conception in my field,
Yes.
as a male gender, I don't have any misconception about my field. But in some clients, they believe that it's a job for only men. But there's nothing wrong, even when you have the opposite gender, that is the female gender. They equally can hope and can perform and compete very well. But my only, which is not necessarily a misconception, is the fact that people tend to believe that when you are an engineer, you stay put only in your field.
Okay.
But that you cannot come into either management or administration.
Why?
Well,
That's strange.
maybe because they feel you did not major
Okay.
in administration. But they have also forgotten that in engineering, there are a lot of management.
Definitely.
You manage financial resources.
Yes.
You have managed human resources. You manage the project itself. So, and from there, you will have learned at some level of administration that can make you cope at any level. I was an engineer, but one thing I always loved to do, and which I still love to do now, is to ensure that I get to the top, to the pinnacle of my career. Wherever I find myself, I want to be
at the top.
At
least the top 1%.
The top 1%. So that misconception that this is an engineer cannot be a permanent secretary, for example, because they believe that it is only administrators that will be permanent secretaries. And I still think that is still not good enough, because most of our people, particularly the people at the helm of affairs, hardly, except if you probably have a professional as the chief executive of the state or the federation, hardly appoint professionals into positions of permanent secretary or authorities.
And engineers are very excellent in most of what we do, just like what you just enumerated now. Managers of resources, finance, managers of human, managers of various, and even the projects you're handling.
Yes.
So why are they trying to exclude us from the permanent secretaryship?
I don't know.
I think it's everywhere in Nigeria. That is.
Well, it's everywhere in Nigeria.
Everywhere in Nigeria.
Everywhere in
State Civil Service. It's everywhere in Nigeria. Thank you for that, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. What do you enjoy doing outside your work?
Outside my work?
Outside engineering. You are not doing engineering.
I read a lot. I read a lot.
Okay.
That's one.
And I will do that.
I read a lot. That's one. Those days I used to learn. I liked music, listening to music.
Okay. Classical or or Brico.
Classical.
Classical.
Classical. But also, I used to play a lot of games.
Lawn tennis or football?
Football, table tennis, chess, Scrabble.
Your strategic Maria pictures.
Then I was able to play a little of lawn tennis. I was into many games. But one other thing I love doing is imparting knowledge. Imparting knowledge. So, and that's why I read a lot.
You need to read. Everybody has imparting knowledge.
Maybe that was probably came in my pastoral work. So it also assists me in my pastoral work.
Sir, if you could meet any innovator or professional from history, who will it be and why? Or do you even have anybody?
Well, I never thought of that. And they didn't even say I have a particular innovator. But what I think is important to the human race is for us to try and solve problems when we encounter such. And that's why any of those innovators that have brought succor or to make life more meaningful, they inspire me. As long as we are going to do something that will make life more meaningful to live. they inspire.
Thank you, sir. What is fun about you, sir, that people don't know?
Fun about me?
Yes. At least about my engineering, that would be something that is fun about you. I love people.
What is fun about me is that I like to raise people up. I like to raise people up. How do I mean by like to raise people up? If I see anybody that is below my own level, if there are opportunities, I try to assist and bring them up, if not better than my status, at least to a level that will make them more comfortable in life. Like I said earlier on, I'd like to impart knowledge on people.
Thank you, sir. Dear viewers at home, we have been having as our guest today Engineer Bamidele Christopher Ogunwolere. He was the past chairman of the Nigerian Center of Engineers, a fellow too of the Nigerian Center of Engineers, and an M.N.I. Sir, we are grateful for your time and for coming on this program to share with us your wealth of knowledge and experience. And I believe that viewers at home, even young and aspiring engineers, will have learned one or two things from your experience. It has spanned so many decades. In a short period of time, you have pioneered so many ministries and projects which are still standing today. At least that of Waste Management Authority, I can still refer to that. They still stand. Now they already have, Waste Management already have about 2 other sites now, 2 other landfills. There is one now at
We were on that for a very long time. It was the army that was always supposed to
So most of your pioneering projects and ministries are still standing. We want to thank you. And Ondo State too, we love you, that you are still alive, and we pray for your health. Sound one. And the Lord will give you sound, you and your family. But before we end the program, sir, we normally do something on this program. And what do? We give clutch pencils to our guests. And the purpose is to remind us of our early beginnings. You know, we started from the secondary school with technical drawing.
Yeah.
And then we graduated to do the same technical drawing in university.
Yeah.
And when we were doing it, I believe during your time, sir, you are much older than us. We are carrying technical boards.
Yes, we are carrying technical board all
around and the here. So it is now that we have
now we are into AutoCAD and
SolidWorks and other softwares.
Yes.
So this is a token of our gift. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So dear viewers at home, it has been your host.
Increase you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, evening, sir. It has been your host, Engineer Tola Johnson, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, anchoring the program Insight with Tola. Next time, we'll bring you another guest. Thank you for listening.
Are you